Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our bonus Dharma service here at the end of summer. Usually at Buddhist Church of Oakland, we don't have regular Sunday services during the summer, but we wanted to fit one in because it feels like it's been a little while. And so what we'd like to do first is begin with Sutra chanting. And so we will do Sutra chanting and we're going to chant Juseige, and it's going to be up, the words for the chant will be on the screen. Namanda, 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 namanda. Gagon cho segan hishimu jodo shigan fu manzok seifu jo shogak gao munyoko fui dai seshu Fusai shobing Seifu jo shogak Gashi jo butsudo Myosho cho jippo Kukyo mi shomon Seifu jo shogak Ryokujin shonen Joe shubongyo Shigumu jodo Isho tenin shi Jinniki endai ko Fushomu saido SHOJO sankumyo Kosai shunyakunan Kaiichi egen Meshi konmoan Heisoku sho akudo Tsudatsu zen shumon Koso jo manzok Iyo no jippo Nichi gatsu shujuki Tenko onpu gen Ishu kai hozo Koseku doku ho Jo dai shuchu Seppo shishiku Kuyo isai butsu Gusoku shutoku hon Ganne shitsu joman Tokui sangai yo Nyobutsu mugechi Tsudatsu mi fusho Gangaku erik Toshi saisho som Shigan NYAK-KOK-KA Daisen okando Kokusho tenin Touchin myoken Namanda Namandabu Ganni Shiku Doku Byodo Sei Sai Dohotun Bodai Shin Ojo An Dak-KOK. Namandam, 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 namandam. Okay, next, let's recite the three treasures. And again, the words will be on the screen. Oops. The three treasures. Hard is it to be born into human life, now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the Buddha Dharma, now we hear it. If we do not deliver ourselves in the present life, no hope is there that we shall be freed from suffering and sorrow in the ocean of birth and death. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of your way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves your supreme will. I take refuge in Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depth of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord in your life of harmony, in a spirit of universal oneness, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through myriad ages of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of the Tathagata's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda. 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 Okay, thank you once again for joining us for this special bonus Dharma service. Let me get things all set up here. Okay, so it's been a while, huh? We do have our Shotsuki services over the summer, and we had our Obon online festival and Obon service, but it's been a while since we've had one of these kind of regular Sunday services. So it's kind of nice to be back, although it wasn't easy. I had to gather up all the various equipment and plug everything back in the way it's supposed to be for this. And remember, oh yeah, we do a Kansho video. Oh yeah, all this different stuff. And the three treasures and where to not to put your cursor during the chanting. And so I don't know if the screen blanked out for a little while there, but I think it's going okay. Today, what inspired me for today's talk, this Dharma talk, is a question that came actually from one of our junior YBA graduates. So one of our young people who went through junior YBA here at church and is now off going to school and working. And so here's his question. How do you accept impermanence? Right? How are we supposed to accept impermanence? And so my first reaction, I thought of it maybe kind of intellectually and academically, and impermanence is one of the basic Buddhist teachings. One aspect of it that we talk a lot about at funerals and memorial services is that no one can live forever. No one, right? That just this fact of life, this fact of existence. But then another aspect of it is that things are always changing. But isn't that kind of interesting? These two aspects of impermanence. And I think that the fact that things are always changing is more of a kind of day-to-day aspect of impermanence that we're actually faced with all the time, even if we don't notice. So I think one way that impermanence can seem kind of negative is, why can't I be happy all the time? How come when I feel happy, it doesn't always last, right? I felt happy yesterday, but today, I'm not so much. And so, yeah, that's true that, in our lives, we go through a whole bunch of different feelings, a whole bunch of different thoughts. But, another aspect of it is that sometimes if I'm not feeling happy, if I'm feeling sad or blue or kind of just, ill at ease, that can change too. And, I have felt all of these different feelings during this past year and a half of the pandemic, if not throughout my entire life, right? And there are times when I feel like, phew, I did the difficult stuff that I had on my plate, and I feel like I can just relax and I feel good. Just feel comfortable, and then next day, maybe a day later, I'm like, what happened to that feeling? Why do I not feel that way right now? What's going on? Oh yeah, why don't, I'm starting to get upset, and maybe I watch the news, or the air quality has gotten worse, or, all these different things come up that feeling of happiness has disappeared. And now I don't feel that way. And yet then a few days later, I'm busy, but getting things done and feel good. Right. And so I think that's part of what Buddha wants us to realize is, yeah, that's life. Going through these different feelings, right? Going through these ups and downs of life. And maybe I can feel good about impermanence, right? When I realize that the sadness I felt has gone. But other times, realizing, wow, sometimes when I face impermanence, I don't like it. I wish it wasn't like this. I wish my feelings of happiness could last forever. But once again, Buddha teaches us that's not the way things are, right? That the reality is things are constantly changing. And then I realized, isn't this what we're all facing right now? That excitement a few months ago, right? When was it? May, June, July? Is the pandemic over? Can things get back to normal now? I like music. And so, I saw that a lot of concerts were happening now, right? And we saw like Lollapalooza, wasn't that like in the Midwest, and just, thousands and thousands of people all gathered together. Are they wearing masks? Maybe 80, 90% no. And they're all crammed in, it's outdoors, but are they vaccinated? We don't know. And then you start to see, oh, wait a second, they're starting to require vaccination to get into these things. And a sizable portion of the comments on Instagram or Facebook or whatever are complaining, right? And then you start hearing, wait a second, the hospitals are starting to fill up again, right? The Delta variant seems to be growing and growing. So, thinking about that feeling of, oh, can I finally relax? Are things finally getting back to normal? Right? Was one thing. And then I think maybe the disappointment of realizing, no, it's not over, right? And then clear air for those of us who live right here in the Bay Area, right? We've had clear air almost all summer. And then for the past couple of days to realize, oh boy, here comes the smoke again, right? Knowing that other people in other parts of California have been dealing with the smoke for a while. Realizing that other people in the Midwest are dealing with a crazy drought. Right, realizing that right now, Louisiana bracing for another huge hurricane. So depends where you are, depends who you are, right? And yet, I think that this feeling of kind of disappointment, thinking back once again to that feeling that I think many people throughout America, throughout the world, right? Whoa, maybe it's over. Maybe things will get back to normal. No. Okay. Isn't that dukkha? Isn't that the suffering from the Four Noble Truths that Buddha talks about? Maybe suffering isn't the right word. Right here, it's not, suffering, dissatisfaction, dis-ease, not disease, like, although maybe it's related, like sickness, but this being ill at ease. Oh, it's all up in the air again. I can't just relax and be happy. Isn't this the feeling that Buddha taught about in like his very first sermon? Isn't this Buddhism in a lot of ways? This dukkha, realizing this dukkha in my life. So that's only the first truth, though, right? The second noble truth is, well, why? Let's think about it. Let's figure out, where is this coming from? Right? And in the early versions, it comes from desire, from attachment, from grasping. No, I don't want to let go of that feeling. I don't want to let go of that happiness. Right? And then if I'm holding on to that, no, I want it to be like it was back then, I'm going to have dukkha, right? I'm going to have this suffering. Now, the interesting thing too, third truth number 3, or third noble truth, right? There's a cause, and by getting rid of that cause, we can get rid of the result. So if I can realize that grasping is causing my dissatisfaction, my suffering, my dukkha, then maybe the dukkha will lessen. So you know, I still remember when I was studying Buddhism early on, and one of the classes I took, we had to read an encyclical from the Pope of that time, right? The Catholic Church. And it was saying, we shouldn't follow these other religions. Like Buddhism, the problem with Buddhism, it's pessimistic. So it sounds like the person who wrote that read the first noble truth and was like, this is a pessimistic religion, threw it out and stopped reading, right? And they didn't realize, wait a second, sure, in some ways, it may view certain things in a pessimistic way or negative way, but at the same time, it's analytical, it's realistic. Let's look. And then it's also optimistic. There's a path, there's a way out. Right? There is a response to this. We don't have to just be like, yeah, life is suffering. Okay, deal with it. Life sucks and then you die. Right? No, that's not what Buddhism is teaching. Right? Buddhism is also teaching, no, there are other ways to live besides just being caught up in dukkha. And so Four Noble Truths suggests eightfold path with right view, right thought, right speech, etc. And those are important, right? To realize, wow, okay, this is what I do in my life. I have a view or multiple views of the world. Maybe some of those aren't so accurate, or maybe some of those contribute to my suffering. Right? My thoughts are something in my life. My speech, my words are important. My action, my deeds. But it's really hard to correct those, I think. Right? I've been Buddhist for 30 years now, and it's not easy to follow that rigorous path of correcting your behavior, of enacting right view, right thought, right speech, right conduct. And fortunately, I encountered Jodo Shinshu, right? The Shin Buddhist teachings of Shinran Shoni, right? And so this encompasses all of that, but also realizes how hard it is to do that, right? And so I think a Shinshu response to this dukkha that we feel, Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu as something I say, whether I say Namo Amida Butsu after the minister or just in my daily life, Namandab, Namandab. I was doing that today, driving in my car. And it wasn't what you think. It wasn't because I was mad. It was because, you know, other people were passing me and I was going, 68, 72 tops, you know. And then I get to the part going from 13 to where it kind of turns into 980 and you kind of go under all those interchanges. And there's also often a lot of times a police car there, right? So I tend to slow down there. So I'm driving along and then I realize, whoa, all these people are catching up. Whoa, I was spacing out. I was listening to the music. Namandab, namandab, get back on track. I got to get to church. I got to do service, right? I got to drive, you know, along with everybody else. Namandab, namandab. It was really interesting. And that wasn't really even the first time this morning that it just kind of came out. Namandab. Maybe that's a way to think about it. Get back on track. I got distracted, right? I've been thinking about this, thinking about that, doing this, saying this, doing that. Namandab, namandab. Okay, that's my life, living my life, but let's try and write it. Because the other aspect of Namo Amida Butsu, it's not just me saying Namo Amida Butsu, it's Namo Amida Butsu coming to me. I'm pointing here at the Amida image, right? But Amida is everywhere, not just here, right? So Namo Amida Butsu is also what I hear. That Namo Amida Butsu is Buddha reality. It is nirvana coming to me, calling to me, trying to get me back on track. So when I said Namandab, It wasn't necessarily, I didn't think I got to say the Nembutsu. It just came out. Right? And so one way to think about it is that I heard the call, right? That I was getting caught up in my daily life once again, but I heard the call. Let's get going, right? Let's face back around. Let's get back on the path. So part of that is, I think, awareness of myself, awareness of my feelings, awareness of my thoughts. It's that the Buddha coming to me, trying to get me to wake up. Now I know it's hard because you know what's a big help too, besides Namo Amida Butsu, saying Namo Amida Butsu, saying Namandabu, Sangha. Right, Sangha is such a big part too. It's such a big part, being able to reconnect with my Dharma family. Right, and of course, under these circumstances, it's more difficult than before. It's not something I can just do knowing I can do it. Right? And yet, we're here, right? We're able to gather like this, even if it's online. We're discussing reopening the church. You know, traditionally the first service would be the second Sunday in September, the Sunday after Labor Day. BCO is one of the temples that takes Labor Day weekend off. And so we're going to do it again this year. It gives us a little extra time to prepare, and then we'll see. We're going to figure it out in a few days, I think, decide what we're going to do in September. Will we reopen to the public on September 12th? Not sure. Will we have virtual? Yes. Whatever happens, whether we open to public or not, we're going to keep the virtual thing going. It might be a different format. If we're here in person, we can't do the exact same thing, but we will have this virtual type of gathering, right? So that we can chant the sutra, express our gratitude, recite the three treasures, listen to the Dharma talk, right? Be together, even if just in spirit or even if just virtually. But this was a big realization for me, dukkha. We've been living Buddhism. Buddhism has been here for us this past year and a half, right? I think the past, when did World War II end? 1945? In a lot of ways, maybe since that time, you know, we rebuilt here in the United States, Japan too, right? The difficulties of that time were kind of surmounted. We've had other difficulties, Vietnam War, if we want to just talk about wars, Iraq War, Afghanistan playing out right now, right? And yet here in this country, in many ways, I think for many people, it's not an easy ride, but smooth in a lot of ways. But we're seeing that change. So that impermanence, once again, right? Things aren't like they were in the 50s, the 60s, the 80s, the 2000s, right? We have to deal with the reality that we have now, right? Looking at why we're here, but realizing, wow, Buddha's teachings talking about now, relevant now. And so as Shin Buddhists, right, this is such an important part of our Shin Buddhist life, saying the Nembutsu, reciting Namo Amida Butsu. So thank you, everyone. Why don't we conclude the Dharma talk by doing exactly that. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda, namanda, namanda. Okay, thank you. And so now why don't I turn the spotlight over to Hondo for announcements.
Thank you, Sensei, for your Dharma talk. Hello, everyone. All right, share my screen. See if I remember how to do that. In a minute. Okay, here we go. Hopefully you're all seeing this. So yeah, just a few announcements. The following events, they can be found on the BCA website. The first here is the 74th Annual Northwest District Virtual Convention. It's from September 12th to the 19th. You can join the Oregon Buddhist Temple and other temples in the Northwest District. The keynote speaker is Reverend Peter Hata from Higashi Honganji and LA Betsalun. And also there will be many other presenters sharing their various perspectives. Also on September 18th and the 25th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., we have Reverend Dr. David Matsumoto presenting on Shinjin. He will be presenting 2 lectures looking closely at Shinran Shonin's writings, considering the nature, arising, and implications of Shinjin. There will also be a BCA virtual art exhibit on September 19th. It's taking place from the 19th to the 26th. Visit the BCA website to submit your work and also for more details about that. And again, all these events can be accessed on the BCA website. So I highly recommend you all go check that out. Also, some upcoming BCO events. Reverend Bridge will be starting a new Buddhism video series on his YouTube account. I have the link here. I will post it in the chat box. Subscribe to his channel to receive notifications for all new content, and don't miss out. It should be really really cool. Also, on September 27th, we have our BCO annual golf fun day outing. Some details here: just donation, $175 per person. It includes golf and cart, box lunch, raffle, and other golf appetizers. I don't know much about golf personally, but I would recommend visiting the BCO website for more details. It sounds like it would be a lot of fun. And I think that's it for me. So yeah, nice to see everyone, and stay safe out there, and look forward to seeing you all again sometime. Thank you.
Hey, thank you so much, Hondo. Thank you everyone for joining us. Looking in the chat, looks like we have the link for donations if you'd like to, or you can just go to the website. And yeah, I just started that do they still say vlog? Right? You know what a blog is, right? A blog is when you write stuff on the web, weblog, right? But a vlog is a video log. And so I'm trying to start that up, and I have 1 episode up there already. And it's basically just kind of an introduction, but I'm looking to do more of those too. Plus, I will be having the regular Sunday services online at the very least, starting September 12th. So this will conclude our Dharma service, our bonus Dharma service. Thank you all very much for joining us. And why don't we conclude the service with Gassho and reciting the name of the Buddha, the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda. Namanda. Okay, thank you.